and right back into the Shanghai Major qualifiers. Don't worry, nothing of value was lost. We're here in the Insanity Hub, and clearly Insanity has taken over. LGD against iG.Vitality should be a fabulous one. Blaze, you've been saying you've been waiting for it all day. I think that we have a draft pretty much underway. Also, what are your thoughts on these two teams? Are you a believer?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, LGD, they're favored. Yeah, they are looking strong. They don't make major mistakes very often, and they seem to be finding a really good balance in strategies. But I still love the way that iG.Vitality have been playing very recently. Like, the just what we've seen from them, the 2-0 against the actual IG roster is, of course, very convincing. And just in general, like, this team, while they didn't have many good results when they were under the DK banner of Scuderia, ever since Radiant Dire Cup, where they took 4th place, eliminating C-Deck in the lower bracket, I have been having my eye on this team, and I have been just loving what I see.
Well, so who's your player to watch, if you had to pick one?
I mean, I've seen a lot of good stuff from Boboka. Just what he's been able to accomplish very recently, like with just his manipulation of creep waves and stuff like that's been a lot of fun. But in the tournament so far, from what I've seen, actually Wrong has been pretty much an MVP. Disruptor is picked up by LGD, but in 2 recent games, Wrong has just been absolutely tearing up the battlefield on this hero. I mean, he was able to, over the course of like a 33-minute game, find himself with just a massive KDA. Like, he's just contributed in so many different ways on this hero, and I am looking forward to see not necessarily him on the Disruptor, but just him in general captaining the team and pulling them forward aggressively against LGD.
All right, well, LGD, Gabe, they've changed it up. They go for their spirit, very standard for them. The Terrorblade, we saw them give it away one game, then they dumpstered it with the Sylar Morphling. The other game they ran it, they played really well, but the Disruptor is not a hero they've really been turning to as much as of late.
I think Vitality honestly would have picked it up. Like, Wrong had just earlier today a 5-0 and 22 game.
So you think it's a block pick then?
Yeah. Like, this guy was just massive.
It actually has very little synergy with their draft. Outside of, I guess, Glimpse and Earth Spirit, like, yeah, you have really long initiation range, but
definitely
Static Storm doesn't combo all that well with the rest of their draft.
You can definitely tell that this is a 6.86 draft, too. Like, it's just completely off the wall in terms of what they've got going here, and I feel like Faceless Void with the Death Prophet seems like a really cool combo if you're able to make it work, and obviously Time Dilation, great against Earth Spirit and his ability to sort of stop the massive amounts of damage you're able to deal out, and now with the Clinks picked up also,
I like this pick a lot.
Of damage.
I feel like we've seen too many teams pick Death Prophet, and they're overly reliant on the ultimate. This is a hero that can A, create space for Death Prophet, B, control the map, C, can take objectives as well, and Synergize is great. You get a Desolator, likely the build goes really well with the Death Prophet ult. Even if you don't, you still have plenty of minus armor. So
like how does an Earth Spirit get close to a Clinks with a Desolator, a Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror? Like, he's just dead so fast in these fights, and
he also crushes Terrorblade before he gets the Manta out.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I mean, generally speaking, Terrorblade isn't like, you usually look at his armor as his strength, but at the same time, he doesn't have a large HP pool. You take away that armor, and he's gonna have a lot of problems.
Or like we've seen some players going for the Dominator build. If the Clinks is a good start, I don't think you can do that. But
yeah.
Shaker is the grab by LGD. They are really shoring up the backlines here. This is very much to me a 4 protect 1 team again. Total shift in overall philosophy compared to 6.85. I think Sylar's more comfortable now. I know we were casting last night, and you said you agree Sylar's more comfortable, but maybe the rest of the team doesn't suit them as well. Mainly maybe, who definitely benefits a lot from farm, but his hero is the one out there that has not been picked yet. iG.Vitality are going to be banning it, and I'm curious to see what maybe actually gets his hands on.
Well, the thing that I'm kind of curious about also is Earthshaker was sort of consistently run in the offlane in the last patch, and I'm wondering now if they're going to be having Earth Spirit get run in that sort of roaming support-y type role that we've seen him picked up most often, or if this is going to be an Earth Spirit solo in the offlane, or maybe even you end up throwing the Earthshaker up there and tow with them.
It's probably support Earth Spirit based on how they played. It's normally MMY, and he is. They even gave the Lion to DDC, and that's of course an MMY classic.
Right.
So I think with this team, it is almost certainly a supporter Spirit.
Okay.
But I wouldn't put it past them to change it up once in a while. That said, I don't think this is the game where they're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm curious if RTK actually has been practicing the hero, because he hasn't really shown much in terms of competitive record on it compared to like Earthshaker, where you at least see him making those jumping plays.
I mean, how do you rate like offlane Earth Spirit versus support?
I think that Earth support or spirit brings a little bit more. It's just so much more dynamic. You can be anywhere on the map that you feel you can find opportunities. And maybe they could actually kill the Void with it. Where like with the Earthshaker Fisher, Void doesn't really care unless he's also in glimpse range. The Earth Spirit, I
Well,
feel,
even then, I don't know if he cares. They're
Yeah.
still light on damage
Yeah.
and silence.
So, but with the Earth Spirit, I think there's more potential there with the Boulder Smash with the Geo Grip. So, should be interesting to see, obviously, what they decide to do with it. But the supporter Spirit seems to have some great strength. And
Hey!
oh my,
What
this is
the
going to be
heck?
fun. They have Chrono to just stop the fight. They have the Wyvern Ultimate, Winter's Curse to stop the fight completely. Everybody's going to be turning on their allies. New Wyvern. We'll see how she does.
Now you can no longer damage the heroes that are cursed.
Not at all.
Correct.
The only damage is going to be the self-infliction, essentially. The LGD attacking themselves.
Yeah.
Well, and Terrorblade is going to be a real problem for the rest of these other
Ooh.
heroes that are relatively squishy. And a last pick, maybe Silencer. Not-
That could be really big. Voids are not building BKB right now.
Yeah.
So Global seems really strong against him. Obviously, it's great against any defensive support. Wyvern falls into that category. Death Prophet builds Yules. I don't think Silencer is that great against her, but you can stop the defensive swap. So I actually think Silencer could be really good this game, and definitely not a hero I was thinking about. But LGD just won. They like snap picked that. They were ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the laning configuration is going to be interesting to see how maybe he fares against the Death Prophet 1v1. But when it comes down to team fights, every time you see a Chrono, you pop Global Silence. Very simple. They saw it a lot at TI4, and it seems a very natural response that shuts down a Vitality going for follow-up and follow-through.
Do you like the mid silencer?
Yeah,
As
I-
opposed to like a support.
Yeah, definitely. Carry support and mid silencer I felt have been viable for many patches, and it just comes down to. I think the cool thing about mid silencer is the tempo factor. You're not going to have PKBs coming out very early on most of these heroes. Like you said, the Void's not going to get one, and the Clinks, it's not going to be his high priority item.
Very interesting. I think one of the big things that when people were talking about Winter Wyvern also and how to make it work, it was a setup spell for the Winter's Curse. And I think that there's two ways to think about that. You set it up for something like an A Blast where you're able to apply the debuff to a lot of people, or simultaneously something like the Chronosphere. I think you're going to be seeing the Winter's Curse a lot first and then follow that up with the Chrono. That is a tremendous amount of control for an exceptionally long period of time. You kill off one person, and then maybe you're even able to get the Exorcism coming off the back of it in just the middle of a Chronosphere, and it's really going to be devastating if they're not prepared for it. Although I would expect them to be. I mean, they see this combo coming a mile away, and it's just going to come down a lot to,
Hi DDC.
hey guys.
Hi.
Do you think Guardians is probably going to be a pickup eventually for Wyvern? Obviously not going to get a ton of farm, but that seems like a pretty...
Yeah, I don't. That's not even on my radar, dude. That's
Yeah.
so far away. Maybe you look at Blink Dagger. I think Medallion's
Glimmer's
really
always good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Medallion's actually a lot
A
better
bit
now.
less. I think Glimmer's still pretty good against Earth Spirit.
No, I think Medallion's actually pretty huge this game because the Clinks can just go straight for the Desolator. The Wyvern, whoever she Winter's Curses, you put the Medallion on there, that hero's pretty much dead. The attack speed boost the LGD it gets against their own ally and the negative armor combined together, most heroes will be died to that straight up. And you take a Disruptor or a Silencer out of the fight early, you're very happy with how the rest of it goes.
So I do want to give a big shout out to our fearless observer Lex, who I'm pretty sure has been solo casting for the RU Hub for like 12 hours now. Thank you very much, sir. He's actually done a great job considering,
Warrior.
even not considering. Thank you, Lex.
Absolutely.
I know I say that because I think he was falling asleep for a second there.
It happens.
So the two, like, sort of messing with your cooldown type of spells are up in this game also. Silencer with Arcane Curse is going to be able to punish you for using these spells and sort of spamming them out. And then you've also got Time Dilation that comes out from Faceless Void. And these are a couple of spells that I think got a little bit of hype built up around them. And I don't know if we're really going to be seeing the Arcane Curse all that much. I've even seen some people and some teams not even skill it up. What are your thoughts on that one?
It's really strong against certain heroes. Crypt Swarm is still pretty spammy, so I think that's going to be a little bit of a frustration for the Death Prophet if it's skilled up. But you got this mid silencer who really wants to prioritize last hits. Last word is much better in just trading and fighting early on in the lane. So I would say a last word glaive buildup is what you're going to see. Arcane Curse is not a bad spell. It's just Whether or not they see the value in it here, I'm not so sure, because you're so much more focused on like getting items up to survive against the clinks. Obviously, physical damage is coming out left and right from the Death Prophet and the clinks. So I really don't feel like you're worried about doing some AoE magical damage over time. You really want to start getting into carry mode as quickly as possible.
The dots are coming out.
Uh-oh.
You know a game of Chinese Dota is going to shit when you just start seeing a bunch of dots.
Why is that? Is that just they can't even
That's like the
express it?
I am frustrated, I am really fed up, like fuck this game, the server sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck Dota.
I mean, we've got 37 ping, so it's whatever, right?
I'm just saying when the dots come out, like that is when the salt is building. That is the salt meter.
Okay, I like it. Salt meter. Oh man, it's like I don't even know what that's like. I can't even find an analogy.
You're the cook, dude. You have to step it up, dude.
I don't know. It's when you
You're
double
the
down
cook.
on the duck fat or whatever. I don't know. There's a lot of salt in duck fat.
Okay, making your
See,
analogy
this is why I didn't
accessible
do
is
the
important.
analogy.
I'll say that.
Analogies for noobs.
That's the thing. Exactly. If you guys want to learn how to cook some absolutely wonderful duck breast, tune into my channel.
What's your channel?
Twitch.tv/duckfat. Exactly.
Would it have
That's
to
a
be-
very specific channel. by
It
the way.
is.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Well,
do you honestly just sit there and roast the moonduck stuff? Is that how that works?
is the
Full-time
rest
job.
of
Dude, I could get that shit done in like 5 minutes and then we get back to regular life. Come on now.
Oh my god. Well, the disconnects are real now, but yeah, it's a little bit rough, and I didn't even think about the moon duck dynamic there with the duck fat.
Mhm.
Oh jeez. So what does this tell you when randomly teamed like players are dropping out? Is that like it's obviously not a house connection thing, or is it a house connection thing? Because they'd all be gone, right?
It's like, I mean,
They're pretty much all in team houses.
yeah, definitely.
I'm not specifically sure about iG.vitality, but in general, like,
Yeah.
I've actually never heard of a branded Chinese team that's not living in a team
No,
house.
they have the money for it, for sure. So I would say they are local, and in that case, it's just individuals having connection problems. They feel that Reconnect is the easiest solution. Perfect World servers, while we have more issues with it than they do due to firewall stuff.
We have two
It's-
computers right next to each other, plugged into the exact same switch, and one of them's fine, one of them will lag. You reconnect on the one that's lagging, then it's fine. So it's that similar issue also happens even within China, from what I gather.
Lex has given us some new information here. Clicked on maybe level 1 Glaives of Wisdom. So he is actually just going to be going ham on the lane. Like all he's going to worry about is last hits. A little bit of hits on the Death Prophet too, but like he really doesn't care about his lane opponent. Just wants to make sure that he gets some good farm momentum.
Very interesting. Oh my god, that Earth Spirit set. It's like wearing a crown.
Man, look at those sweet items.
It's beautiful. Fairy Fire, Orb of Venom. He's going to be roller bouldering.
If you're a support and you have a Orb of Venom and a Fairy Fire, like, you're living the life, man.
Absolutely. Oh, here we go. Dota 2 LGD against iG.V, not IVG.
They might need an IV after LGD get done with them.
Heyo.
No, I honestly, up until the silencer pick, I was really favoring iG.V. If maybe has a good game, I prefer LGD, but if maybe gets shut down, then I actually think Vitality have the advantage. As Death Prophet quickly gets
Oh my god.
destroyed mid. Okay. Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
That lane's not going to be fun.
Nope. I mean, Rolling Boulder is kind of a long cooldown, but he's still going to consistently be able to find opportunities. Death Prophet, a little bit better with base movement speed, but still not great. And
Oh, they're rolling in again? Oh, hello, buddy. Is this the first
there's the
blood?
last word. Yeah, with last word, that is a
That's
kill.
the first blood.
So
okay.
Very early level 2 on maybe with the bounty rune, of course. So that enables MMY maybe just a 2v1 it. And you were talking about maybe snowballing. Well, sure, he didn't get the Shadow Fiend. That was last ban.
Plus 2, plus 2.
Plus 2 int.
-2.
And
It's all good.
he'll
Plus
probably
2
have
minus-
plus 10 by like, I don't know, 8 minutes. He's going to have
8 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say he's going to have a very active early game. You got the Earthshaker moving in, the Earth Spirit moving in. They're going to look to set up maybe. That's their game plan.
Well, and it makes it more difficult, too, because if you Crypt Swarm as you're trying to get a last hit, you're not going to be able to Soul Siphon afterwards. So that's, I mean, and we've seen that that's been one of the main ways for DP to be able to sort of sustain in lanes where there's a lot of pressure being applied. It feels like this could be difficult here, and we are going to get the Soul Siphon off. There's the last word coming in. Still the right-click damage. My goodness gracious.
Oh, that was the spanking.
Yeah. And a couple reasons that the Soul Siphon isn't as effective here. It's only level 1, and most importantly, Silencer is just not packing a lot of raw HP. It's based on his max health. He's not really running that, so she's only getting so much steal from it, and he's able to just trade so much more effectively. So I would say it's going to be a harder and harder lane for DP as things go by. And I expect LGD to just keep roaming in on that. Right now, the Earth Spirit's down bottom, looking for some action on Void. But unless you're level 3 on MMY, I don't think that kill happens.
Well, and realizing then that the Earth Spirit is not mid, at least for the time being, it means that Void's going to back on out, play things a little bit more carefully. And
Yeah, they have a ward down near the bottom rune, so they might have seen him rotate.
Yeah.
But Void is out of regen, so Void's not going to have too much fun. At least he was, unless he got something ferried.
It is still a dangerous lane, though, with Disruptor there, being able to
Oh yeah, they
glimpse
can
you on
definitely
back.
kill him.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Comes down a bit to the glimpse timing, but if you play it right.
Well, and also staggering your damage with the Time Walk being there and being able to take some of that away, that's
Yeah.
still really important.
Well, in good news for Vitality, though, RTK is getting just completely shut down top lane. Basically no experience. It only gets harder. At this point, they could even rotate one of the supports. They could start stacking the jungle. Clinks can pretty much solo zone. They're going to make the move on mid, but good defensive play by Chen. I think that ward again, the one, if you look at the minimap, down towards the bottom rune,
Yeah, does help
scouted him once more. So LGD probably realized that's warded. Not the easiest D-ward, but that's one of the first places you would guess.
Well, and the rolling boulder slow is also really
There we
important
go. That
to be able to
connects.
get it. There it is. Goodness gracious. Right-clicked. That's going to be a kill. Another -2. Easy peasy.
I mean, he knows the Earth Spirit's around, but still, like, what are you going to do? Just not be in the lane?
You just need support, and Wyvern's okay at just kind of babysitting the lane. Venge is not.
Yeah.
So she wants to actually make offensive plays happen, more so than just sit next to you. So, yeah, overall, it's just the DP is going to need a lot more coverage from this point forward.
Either that or the Clinks needs to go ham because they're making so much space
It's
for
too
him.
early. I don't think he's
Right.
quite ready yet.
Well, I mean, a little bit later in the game, like they're sacrificing the DP coming online right now for the Clinks getting a good start, and I'm not sure if that's going to end up paying off in the later stages because he needs to be able to have like a tremendous mid game then to really make up for how heavily this DP is getting crippled. I mean, you take a look right now at her CS. Where is she at on the list? She's currently 9-4 versus the 22-9. Like, you have to do something with all the space that you're given on the Clinks a little bit later on.
Oh, this could be a
Oh,
good
this
find.
could be big.
He's got that Fisher, though.
A little bit too
so
fast.
hard to manage against it. In fact, MMY just going to go right in. The last word is going to slow, and there's the stun on top of it. It is not...
It's
oh,
enough.
it is going to be kill.
Easy. Oh, my God.
That hero's just still so very slow, and just Orb of Venom right clicks makes it impossible for him to escape.
I just feel bad for DP at this point.
Definitely.
I don't know what you do. Like, there's... Even if... I mean, Wyvern comes here, like, I feel like it's still a big win for LGD anyway. MMY can just go gank elsewhere, get his levels. Silencer's going to be fine, but RTK, this would be big.
Don't
If they
think
can
so.
at least get the takedown there. Clinks is even committing the skeleton walk. Oh, he's not getting that.
That was close, but under 100, not 0.
Nothing is going well for iG.vitality.
One thing is nice. The Void got an Iron Talon. He's actually farming the hard cap.
They got an Iron Talon, guys. Okay, it's fine.
You gotta take what you can get, and I consider Iron Talon somewhere between a third and a fourth of a Midas. So it's like
He's got a quarter portion, would you say?
There we
yeah,
go.
stuff like that. So it's not slot efficient, but it's like it'll keep him moving forward, and he's gonna get the hard camp cleared out multiple times over. And I would say that he is actually going to be a player, but DP.
Death Prophet making the plays. Oh, the global. Come on, give this man a break. Oh, nicely done with the Fairy Fire. Can't believe he still has that, actually.
I probably bought a new one.
No, the 6-minute fairy fire, exactly.
I hope he didn't buy a new
Just
one.
buy like 4. Fuck it. I'm tired of feeding. I'm tired of just getting killed by the same combo over and over. My team's not TPing.
That's big, though. They force out
Fairy
the
Fire.
global defensively. LGD getting another round of kills with an offensive global could just, like, break the game wide open.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think that's actually a big tide turner right there.
And the other thing, like, that to keep in mind is throughout all of this, Terrorblade is also still farming. So, like, you're dominating there in the mid lane. You're doing great in the bottom lane. And I think that if we're gonna see Invictus come back into this one, they're gonna have to go through the Clinks.
Yeah,
and
Clinks
really make
definitely
it a
needs to
ton.
move. This is around the time where you can start moving him. Shaker's pretty underleveled, so he's not going to threaten for a kill. I guess you can leave the Wyvern there. The Venge maybe is roaming or pulling and stacking. I'm trying to think where the best shot for Clinks is to actually put some pressure on the map. He doesn't necessarily have to get a kill. Just being off the map offers a lot to the team.
Definitely.
But he's not quite ready yet. Curious what he is going to go for. I think Deso is the build for sure, but
Yeah.
it's very early.
Yeah, I mean, Orchid's not bad, but it's kind of an older build, and it feels like you're a little slow in what you want to accomplish.
It just feels like it falls off so quickly.
Exactly.
Definitely. And, like, you could probably find a kill on, like, the Earth Spirit maybe, or possibly the Silencer would be a little bit tough. But regardless, I definitely like the Deso more, because then you can start doing things like split pushing around the map and being able to apply pressure. You know, it's weird. We're sort of talking about, like, Clinks making space for DP. Normally, I feel like when we saw DP in the past, it was part of, like, early push lineups. Is she becoming, like, a serious late game threat now?
I think she's always been a serious late game. Well, I wouldn't say serious, but she has always been a late game threat. It's just that she doesn't get to that level of late game as easily as other heroes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
And
6-7 slotted DP is always scary, but you don't really see that very often.
It's also part of how the laning phase has gone for the most recent Death Prophets. Like the last one we saw in the Americas region was just dying repeatedly, and essentially it's kind of like a Razor dying a bunch in the early stage. You don't get to build those tank items. You just keep on getting comparatively weaker to your opponents. They keep on doing more damage. You're just as survivable as before, which is not very, and then they're just going to continue to snowball off of you. So I feel like there's more emphasis on protecting DPs just because of how rough they've had their laning phases since we've seen them most recently.
Well, I think there needs to be more emphasis on protecting them. Like, you look at the TI4 era, there'd always be like a Shaker camping mid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You brought it up early in the laning stage. They didn't have that. Wyvern, not the best for that, but is okay. Wasn't there. Venge wasn't there. She was on her own. And then now Earth Spirit's in the game, and Earth Spirit is super tusk at this stage. Just easily goes in and sets up the kills. So
As long as you hit the rolling boulder there. That's the key. Oh, he's going to use it to escape.
A couple of times where just one more right click would have been enough there for the Clinks, and not going to be able to get it that time around. But it's looking more and more like it's definitely LGD in the driver's seat. I don't really know if they have a capability
what is
of,
he
like,
going?
let's see,
What do you guys think the Clinks is going for?
More Fairy Fire.
possibly Deso.
I'm not sure about Fairy Fire and Clinks. Like, he doesn't really need the regen generally. I don't think he needs the damage. It's so minor compared to your Searing Arrows.
I think there's, if he thought there was going to be a contested up top, there's a lot of situations where you're just trying to man-fight his Clinks. You maybe pop strafe, or you're just putting in a lot of Searing Arrows, and you just need that little HP boost. And then you'll be able to get at least one kill and Skeleton walk away. So if he thought that he was being contested, I think Fairy Fire is a really good man-up item, but obviously it was a free lane. It's kind of a dead slot.
Yeah, I mean, generally, I don't know. I generally you don't see early strafe on Clinks, though.
No, and
Skeleton Walk just scales super well.
yeah.
But if you have a fight and you saved a skill point, then that's for sure. Maybe just waiting for the Mithril Hammer. He's got the gold now if he wants it. Or is he Midasing? There's the Mithril Hammer.
Yeah, he's
grab,
going to be
so.
picking that one. It makes the
Early
most sense.
Deso.
Easiest thing in the world, and you pick it up, you start doing a little bit more damage for your jungling. I'm a little bit surprised that he's been sticking to his own. Sometimes when you end up seeing the Clinks get picked, he'll get the Soul Ring and then take over the enemy's jungle. And this time instead he's like taking the off-lane camp for the Radiant and then moving back to his hard camp, and he's playing a little bit more safely than we would normally see, which wasn't exactly what I'm expecting. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
It's a momentum thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the DP had a really rough time. The Wyvern's still level 4. Like, when you're Wyvern 6, you have the potential to go in to the enemy jungle and just at least farm, because you know that you can fall back on some supports that can actually do something. But a level 4 Wyvern really just doesn't offer enough, and if you're in a bad spot, you're just dead.
LGD, they've had the global for probably 2 minutes now. Haven't used it. Just sitting back and farming.
A lot of gold on the silencer too. 2,500. Usually you'll see like at least a Midas,
Atos?
Midas at this point, but Atos.
Oh no, they're going to be able to catch him out. That's just the Venge, though.
That's
so,
fine for them.
yeah.
They committed a smoke a lot of time on 2 heroes. They only lose the Venge. That is like, I wouldn't say it's ideal, but that's absolutely fine if you're IG. If that's the Clink's dying, that's really bad.
Well, and he moved now into the enemy jungle, and I think that this is the play now. You leave Wyvern in the mid to soak up a little bit of experience. You can still keep the creep wave pushed out. Her damage that came out from Splinter Blast wasn't changed tremendously. Was it even touched at all in the last patch? I don't think it
No,
was.
it just doesn't damage during the ultimate.
Right, so it's still, when you get it maxed out, it's a tremendous amount of damage in an AoE, so being able to keep them off of your towers is pretty significant there, and she can just pretty much park it mid.
Clink's went back to top. He's showing himself now.
Weird.
He really does need the Deso because that's their main... I feel like they could have tried for something with the Chrono at this point.
Shadowblade. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I would have liked... I wanted to see the Clinks like go bottom and try for a kill there, but now nobody's showing bottom. And LGD smoking again. They really want to use the global.
yeah, but maybe
But iG.Vitality know that.
maybe he sends pressure top as well. If they go for that smoke play and Clinks is there, maybe it's not just a Vengeful Spirit getting picked off. Maybe you lose your carry that's just about to get the Dez later, and you're
Well, that's why I wanted him to stay bottom.
I think that's actually probably he was doing exactly what you're thinking. He shows top for a second, pulls all of them over to that side of the map. Look at them now; they're all down here near the tier 1 tower, and they're going to be able to apply pressure. And then if you end up seeing LGD come and try and contest that, you've got Chrono with Clinks waiting in the wings for them to get set up. I think that was all planned out for him.
This is a really risky silencer build. That's a lot of gold into an item that...
You get chronoed, you're done.
Yeah. And they don't... I mean, they have good team fight and some long-range control, but they don't have like a proper save. There's no Grave or Oracle. This is scary, though. You don't really want to fight into a DD Shadowblade silencer at this stage. Split push, trade. Death Prophet ult has not been used yet as they get the tier 1 bottom.
They want to combo it with the chrono. They just put as much damage into the chronosphere as possible. Clinks laying in, and then the exorcism on top. Maybe the winner's curse.
Oh, they
there
are
too.
TPing somebody in it from the looks of it. They're going to jump in the Chronos there. It will connect onto maybe. Where's the backup? The kick comes through. They try to hold him in position. They can't quite catch him. He shadow blades away. Oh, no. Double damage. Oh, got him easily. MMY is going to go down, though. They at least kill off that pesky Earth Spirit. The Earthshaker down as well. Now hunting for maybe. They might be able to get him with the next nuke. Just a bit out of range. The Shadow Blade has a very long cooldown, and Clinks is scouting. Come back here, you little bastard. I want you. I want that sweet silencer ass. Can he kill him? The nuke. One more auto attack. He gets fogged. Can't quite.
No.
Magneto lives to fight another day.
That's sad. Enable the Shadow Blade and then just TP out of there. What a freaking play. It went pretty well. I mean, at the end of the day, they were still able to take that tower down in the bottom lane. Did they get the one in the mid lane for the Radiant? They did?
Yeah, it died just before the
It was a
Chronosphere
1-for-1
came out.
tower trade.
Yeah. I think that's okay, though, at this point. Well, Terrorblade is still farming up a storm, honestly. He's going to start to become a huge problem, and no pressure has been really applied to him.
This is really good, though. They have Deso. Death Prophet ult will cool down relatively soon. They've traded pretty evenly. Like, I feel like LGD had a big window where they could have gotten a lot more done with the global online. They spent like 2 minutes just farming. It's time for IG to look for an objective.
Yeah, I definitely see that with the ultimates coming off cooldown. That could be pretty good. Actually, I have one question about that last team fight. There was a time period where the Winter Wyvern was looking at the silencer that was at 20% HP or so, had just gotten out of the Chronosphere, was running for his life with DD on, had the Winter's Curse, and then got global. If he hadn't got global, would you actually use the Winter's Curse there, just one target, as like a disruption to hold him in place so that you can get everybody else on top of him? Is that worth it?
I think so. It's not a crazy long cooldown, and it's also one of those things where, for being the mid hero that right now is the 3rd highest in net worth, like, think about getting that gold injection into your DP or your Faceless right now, who are still sitting 3,000 gold behind the silencer. That closes down that gap, and then right now you're in a really even position, and I think you're capable of continuing to take fights after that. At this point in time, I think iG.V, they can find kills, but they have to really catch them off guard.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of new ways to use the ultimate. Void in trouble.
That's a pretty big commitment. They are going to get the Void kill. No buyback available. They're just walking into rush. I don't think that wave was scouted either.
Okay, and this actually might work. They have the Winter's Curse, and they're
they're
leaving it.
TPing out.
They
Oh,
don't know.
LGD,
What
Laugandie, is this
players?
happening right now?
Oh, they're scared.
IG getting cold feet. ROTK with the Spidey senses tingling. Bobo.
Be very quiet.
Half HP Roche, and they're thinking about going back.
They're going back in. They
Get it.
definitely-
Get it.
They got to do it. Ugh. Clinks has got to scout it
He
out
wants
first.
that Death Pact online.
He wants to know as well, just where they are, get a read on it, and then go back in. But yeah, they're going back in.
That's super worth, honestly. Trading your Void, he doesn't really need to be that farmed. Honestly, my big concern is just the Death Prophet. She's quite unimpressive in terms of the items at this point.
This is going to allow Clinks to play that much more aggressive too, and now he shouldn't have any fear of going into the middle of fights. And I mean, the other thing is that, like, let's say that he ends up going down a little bit out of position, you're going to be able to follow it back up there with maybe a Winter's Curse if they're waiting around for the Aegis to expire or something like that. It seems to me that this could be a really solid play where you're able to run on in and maybe find a pick off before the fight and then take another great one afterwards, considering that they still have Chrono on up.
Yeah, I think they should push the lanes out and try to get some wards down.
Definitely.
Even if they just smoke to get some aggressive wards, then that makes it safer for the Clinks to go around scouting, and they can kind of play around the vision they get from that.
I mean, you could just use the Aegis Siege, take the tier 1 mid. You don't have to really be sneaky about it in that case. You just kind of just go right to it. You've got all these ultimates. They just mana booted a couple times, so it should be everybody ready to go. But sometimes subtlety isn't as strong as brute force, and I feel here Clinks with the Aegis should feel confident enough to at least to push down that basic tower in the mid.
Oh god, they actually dropped a ward right here, so they're going to be able to spot him if he does end up going on in. Yeah, that spot is always a little bit scary, and I think that Clinks is wisely going to back off for the moment.
And that's
Pick up a little
6186
death
buff
pact.
for Clinks right there. Just more creeps to work with.
Totally.
Yeah.
Very convenient death pact.
We haven't talked about Terrorblade at all. It is worth mentioning. He's leader in net worth. In terms of like hero matchups, they have really good control for him, but as far as like illusion clear, it's pretty bad. So unless Void's 6-slotted, which is not going to happen. So they definitely need to make sure they're careful about approaching these fights. If Terrorblade's just ignored and shows up late and just goes to work with Metamorph, he can easily clear them.
What do you think about the Wyvern factor of Terrorblade being right next to his own illusions? Can he tear himself apart there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they use their crowd control to deal with the Terrorblade, but most of these fights, they've been much more concerned with just, like, catching anyone with Chrono.
Yeah, sure.
But as the game develops, like, I mean, Manta, another Ultimate Orb, he's going
Scotty.
into Scotty right away.
That's a lot of damage, oh my god. And yeah, I mean, Sunder is still going to be a spell that, you know, in the last moment being able to turn the tide of a team fight, but, you know, if you're controlled up the whole time, if you're inside a Chronosphere, you obviously can't Sunder, and I don't know. The other thing also is the silences that are coming out from the Earth Spirit, and we haven't really seen a big Magnetize yet. That is something that you really need to keep your eye on. He also has a Ghost Scepter, so if he does get jumped on and there's going to start to be those right clicks coming in, he's going to be able to keep himself alive, also against the DP ult.
Yeah, he needs that, because like otherwise, what happens when you try to actually go in a fight? You roll in, you get 3-shot. Like
Right.
the armor on Earth Spirit is actually atrociously low.
Oh, they're going for this. They kick. They're going to roll in. Now they commit the global. They want to bring down that Wyvern off the bat. Looks like he should go down to the Magnetize. Rest of the team going to retreat. No more boulders there. 2 minutes on the Aegis. So they committed a lot to get the Wyvern. He's up in 25. And they still have that Aegis for a while.
And no spells were committed there, so global down, and they have the Aegis.
It's still a nice pick. I think IG should just roll back mid and get the tower at least.
Yeah, definitely.
But the big thing is Shaker did not have Blink prior to that. Now he basically has it. He was at like 1900 before that
Yeah.
fight.
That's really important.
I was going to say if RTK is Blink here, this could get really ugly for iG.Vitality, but... Well, naturally, you want to go back down mid, or at least pressure something, knowing that you have Aegis and the globals down, but could be a big mistake.
I got a comment that LGD drafted extremely well around the Faceless Void. Time Dilation is a pretty useless spell here, to be honest. Like most of the heroes just want to get the spell out once, Fisher out once in a fight, the Disruptor combo out once in a fight. Like you don't have to spam and worry about your cooldowns coming back up. So Time Dilation is pretty low impact. Every Chronosphere you can Fisher it, you can Global Silence it. Like there's so many ways to make sure that.
What do you think
XXS
about the
is not
Void
gonna
build?
connect.
He's going Iron Talon into the, it looks like Mask of Madness.
Yeah, Vlad's probably. I've seen a
Vlad's,
lot
you
of
think?
Vlads on
Yeah,
board.
actually, that's right. Most have been going Vlads.
Hmm.
They're going to try for the siege here. Global is on cooldown. Keep that in mind. But again, the kicks are connecting. Just a little bit of harass. Now the glimpse back once more onto the Death Prophet. They might need a little help to keep watching alive, but there's the Chrono jumping forward. Once he caught, it's 3 with clicks coming in from the side. 1, 2, 3. Light him up, knock him down. Got him easily. Tower gonna fall.
Oh,
what a godly Chrono. Make it 4 down just like that. IG all day, vital as ever, and now they strut down mid. Sylar is left shaking his head. What the hell am I supposed to do about that?
And what are they going to do right now? I mean, Aegis just now expired, but you still got 30 seconds. They're going to be able to burst through this tower as soon as the glyph wears off. They don't necessarily have to go up for high ground, but it's just one of those moments where it feels like with Silencer not being up, they can tear through these towers so quickly. Like, you lose one more pickoff like that, and you've definitely lost a lane of Rax at least.
Yeah. Black Z, or QD as he's listed here, he's shown so much strength throughout this tournament. Like, the variance in picks and heroes that he's running is just really fun to see. Like, Clinks is coming out for the second time here, but he's run like 3 other carries just in his past few matches. And the way he's been playing in this game, we're overthinking of the showing top and then going down into the jungle, but it's very possible that he planned that and he was prepared for their response.
Oh, they just saw the Clinks.
Oh my goodness.
And now with that last play, the flanking right when the Chronosphere comes down, the Chrono is great, but if you don't have that Clinks in that position, that exact position, then you're not going to get half the value out of it. So still great play coming in from Black Z and just showing what he can do on a variance of heroes.
I will say, after
and now they have a blink on the Void, so they have many more options.
BKB.
Oh my god. They committed a global for this as well. He gets 1 kill. He just kind of laughs at them, chuckles. Oh, committing onto the BKB. This is a bold maneuver. Quickly, they're going to curse him and hold him in position, but the BKB has worn off. Can they turn this and finish off the Clinks? He's kept alive by the Wyvern. Fisher says no. ROTK is going to slam the door on the most crucial part of the iG.Vitality fight, and now they look for wrong. Tries for the TP out. ROTK again says no and punches him in the mouth. That's a 2 for 2, but a big win with the Clinks going down.
Yeah. Exorcism CD is a little long, so it's very possible that Sylar can just chunk down the tower before they have to worry about the Exorcism Chrono. Sylar is still in his god form, but Metamorphosis should be wearing off here in just a second.
Goodness gracious. I mean, you take a look still. I mean, Clinks is dealing an ungodly amount of damage, but the other thing to keep in mind here is that you still have the Scotty up on the Terrorblade. His illusions are going to town, and they tear through the towers also. It's just the story of who's going to get the control off. Are we going to see the Disruptor lay on down a great kinetic field Static Storm onto several with an Earthshaker follow-up, or is it going to be the Winter Wyvern Curse into a Chronosphere? And to me, at least, whoever it is that's going to be allowed to get those couple of right clicks without anybody else being there is going to be the most important, or who's going to come out on top.
I feel like Wyvern's not been very effective this game, to be honest. I mean, to me, you're seeing the nerf for sure. Like, that curse there, normally you just get that kill, but instead, I got to change targets, go for someone else.
Yeah, I think the Terrorblade actually ended up killing him by walking into the curse circle, but like it should have been such a clean kill, and instead it was kind of zoning more than anything.
Right.
I still like the idea of what you brought up, Gabe, where you like curse to set up the Chrono, but we just haven't seen the opening, I guess.
Definitely. Well, and Void is going to be the one who's going to be able to blink in there and get it until the Winter Wyvern gets some type of initiation item. Like, the range is fine, but it's still a little bit difficult. And looking like they're going to get ready to start pushing down this bottom tower. They don't have an Aegis this time, so they need to be careful. But Chrono is still Chrono, and Clinks is still Clinks, and the damage is unreal.
And Sylar is still Sylar.
True enough.
There's no one who can really straight man mode him. Like, they definitely need to control the TB in the fights. And that's going to be tough when you've Global Interrupt and the Earth Spirit, Earthshaker. Team ES.
For how rough this started for iG.V, they've really been able to bring it back quite impressively.
The lane should have gone a little bit better. I think, like Blaze brought up, they should have protected the Death Prophet mid a bit more. Void did incredibly well. I don't think they really had a horrible laning stage, but the main thing is Death Prophet's been very underwhelming this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it sort of harkens back to what we were talking about, that the Clinks needed to be able to make the plays in the later stages, and I think that really has been the story of it, at least so far. And maybe, in the next couple of minutes here, the Terrorblade was the one that's been able to get a ton of space bought for him. Possibly, as we have a little bit of a pile up there in the little path down, possibly he's going to be able to be the one that starts to bring it back into favor of LGD again. And we've talked about it. You leave him alone to just start right-clicking away at people, and the damage, I mean, look at him right now. It's obviously a DD rune, but still, that's almost 400 damage without Metamorphosis.
Yeah. He's got a lot going for him right now, but even still, this Clinks is pretty big.
Oh,
I mean,
they're flanking.
Yeah, looking for... Well, they don't have RTK in as good a position as before. He was in a real crouching tiger, hidden
They're actually
position.
a bit lucky Roche wasn't up like the second he got that DD, because they could have just very quickly killed it. They were hiding really far back. Tower deny, nicely done.
Yeah. But I feel like when Clinks pops his BKB, like, LGD's main option is run. Like, none of their heroes deal with BKB well.
If it's just like Clinks versus TB, he can man fight him.
Yeah.
But assuming that they control, like, that's the main thing for me. They have to control the TB. Doing that's tough against global.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And maybe now this with the Force Staff also being able to get her into a better position, throwing out that arcane or the Winter's Curse. It feels like it's possible, and a 5-man smoke ain't going on in there.
RTK, will he get caught?
Or
That
will
would
he
be huge
catch?
if they could catch
Look
him.
at that position. Is he in Fizz?
They don't want to commit a
Lex,
5-man
we need you
smoking
now.
for him though right now. That's the other thing. Is like they probably, even if he was in Vision, I don't know if they go for him there.
Well, they know Roche is about to be up. I think it just respawn.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, killing RTK for Roche is
Yeah.
totally worth it.
That's a good point.
Clinks is going deep. Looks like he's going to grab a creep.
No. The
Who
jig's
will
up.
they find after that?
They don't have anything left in the tank. Like they
Oh, they're
just
going
focus
in,
on-
though. They want to make this happen. Maybe. Could be the first man caught out. Forcing out a bad global could be really devastating. The Chrono will connect, but the fissure is there, but it doesn't catch out the Void. They quickly kill him off. Then ROTK looks for the counter initiation. Now the buyback for the Sansa rolling into the middle of the fight. They commit heavily. Terrorblade is about to go berserk. They got to curse him and control him and keep him out of the fight. So far, a 2-for-1 with the buyback as well. A great fight for iG.Vitality, but do they have anything left in the tank with the ults wearing off and Sylar still alive? Down goes Wai Chen. Next could well be the Void. Gotta use that time walk to get the hell out of there. And slow and possibly dead. Even then, it's still okay, but not great. And that's quite
It's going to
possibly
be Roche,
the Roche.
though. Yeah, the Terrorblade's going to take the Roche on now, and it's really tough. iG.V, I love that they were able to get the silencer kill before these global came out, but nevertheless, like, that Terrorblade's just so massive. He doesn't even care about the Clinks at all. Just tore him apart with the Scotty. Couldn't even get away.
Well, the thing I'm wondering about now, so they used the Winter's Curse to kill off the Earth Spirit by the Terrorblade just right-clicking him down. I wonder if it's more worth it just to keep the Terrorblade under control during that period of time. I'm not sure about that, though, because like Earth Spirit, after he gets off the Magnetize in his first couple of spells, it's not the most imperative that he stays alive. I feel like it's more worth it to keep the Terrorblade out of the fight.
They have terrible crowd control outside of the ults.
Right.
So you have to commit at least one big ult to deal with the Terrorblade. Chrono, Curse, possibly both. But if you ignore him with both, I think Sylar can solo pretty much their whole team.
Yeah.
Maybe not all 5, but like 3 of them easily. So yeah, I think you're right. At this point, that's really their only option.
Also figuring out which one is the right one, because if you ult an illusion, that is less than ideal, significantly so. Oh my god, Eagle Song, he's got the Manta, he's got the Scotty, he's got the Aegis, Helm of the Dominator, as well as 2k gold on top of it all.
Those tissues are really paying off.
Definitely. He's got last hits of... Was that actually close to 400 on the TV before we clicked away? He's doing really well for himself. Of course, you expect it of Sylar, but no, he is just large and in charge this game. I mean, we kept our camera off of him. We didn't want to talk about the Terrorblade, but he was sitting down in bottom lane for the first 15 minutes of the game, just farming, and now we see the results. Yeah, 3-11, it looks like, on CS, so still really well off here at 30 minutes.
Unreal right now. Almost 5k gold. Well, 5k gold ahead of the Clinks. And that's the Scotty difference. But again, I think that they have the capabilities to do it. It all comes down to the positioning of these team fights and how it goes. I mean, ROTK had an absolutely fabulous Echo Slam last time around. We are going to be seeing afterwards the Diffusal Blade come up for Mr. Clinks. So it does have Deso and Diffusal.
Well, that stack's fine.
Yeah.
Now. Diffuse doesn't have that effect anymore, but there are
Do
two
they
Ghost
have a
Scepters.
Ghost Scepter?
Two Ghost
Yeah.
Scepters. One on
Yeah.
Disruptor, one on the Earth Spirit.
Still pretty bad for killing Terrorblade, which
Oh, horrible for that. They're,
he's
essentially,
got he's got evasion and 33 armor.
their game plan is just to kill the entire backline and then hope that Sylar flinches all alone.
Good luck with that.
Did the time of Winter's Curse increase as well in the last patch? I feel like if you're able to catch him with Winter's Curse and maybe even like force staff him forward away from the rest of his team, and then you just run on all the back line, that's something that could be pretty interesting because it was already a really long duration. And
That fissure. Now the global committed. They're going to kick. They're going to jump in with the Echo Slam. Goodbye, Death Prophet. You've never been relevant this game, and it's certainly not going to change now. Down for a minute. That's Rex. Might be game.
Goodness. I don't even know if she has buyback right now, but 21,000 gold right now on Terrorblade, and there's nothing to stop him right now. It drops pretty low with the damage coming out from Winter Wyvern. That Splinter Blast is nothing to sneeze at, but it's for the moment having to back on out now.
They did get the Earthshaker on the flank. Got the hit on him before he gets to blink. Just easy, quick kill. I don't even think the Clinks had a BKB for that, so they will draw them back, but they've gotten what they wanted. Through the mid lane, taking down the racks, and Sylar at this point is like, I mean, they can throw everything at him and kill him, but that's the only way that they actually find a kill on him once, let alone twice.
He's about to get satanic, though. I don't even think then they can kill him once. Without, like, if they chrono him while Death Prophet
Exactly.
going, but
It's literally everything has to be thrown
but
at
that's
him.
like assuming his team doesn't exist. So
Mhm.
Sylar has ascended to godhood for this game.
Pretty much. And I mean, he also has the Alpha Wolf following him. It's just all bad stuff coming out from
Bad
the
stuff.
It's rough, man.
Feels bad for sure.
We got the Chrysalis up for the Clinks. It's not an MKB though, and now he's looking on over there at that butterfly, going for the backline. Immediately going to be able to
that
pop the
Ghost
Ghost
Scepter,
Scepter, but
beautiful.
there's that Diff Blade.
I mean, pops a BKB, gets a disruptor. Sylar's just rolling down mid.
Well, this is the 1v5 situation. We'll see what
Got
they
him.
can do with it.
Oh, trying for the swap out. Instead, he's no,
Oh!
committed. Where's the backup? Do they have anything? They've lost
That's
the Prophet.
horrible.
They've already committed the swap. The Chrono's down. The Clinks is in full on retreat, and Sylar is killing your family, your friends, your dog, and possibly your girlfriend. They're all dead.
What a disaster.
4 dead. Ultra kill. Sylar got them all. GG.
He's a
Oh
monster.
my God. And looking like they're going to go for the Killer Instinct, doing their best Avengers oppression, and they're going to be able to take it down. GG ends up getting called. My goodness, left him alone the whole game. Apparently, Terrorblade farms fast, and when he gets the items, he can hit really hard. Don't know if we knew that beforehand, but we certainly know it now.
Lesson
19 to
learned
13.
for iG.V.
Huh. So LGD, maybe a little bit of, showing the upstarts what's what. A lot of hype built up around them, and
I really like the silencer pick.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
very, very good. Was able to diffuse multiple situations. That the silencer saved his own life a couple of times there, and, of course, did so much work against the Death Prophet. The slowing effect on Last Word now, I think that's actually a really big deal in making sure the Death Prophet goes down in a lot of those killing situations. When you got the Rolling Boulder slow, the Orb of Venom slow, the Last Word slow, and no backup under tower, you can just die for days. And they just got so much momentum just created through MMY and maybe alone that Sylar did what he needed to do. LGD's strategy of 4 distract for 1, allowing Sylar to just get massive on a hard carry, it prevails once more.
I do want to say I think the MMY Earth Spirit reminds me a lot of the 11 Tusk from the past 3 months.
yeah.
Maybe worth experimenting with the first phase ban at this point. Like
Sure.
this match is purely for seeding in Group A. I think if there's a time to do it, it's probably now.
Absolutely, and I think that it still is so clear that every single win matters in this format. Like, the nice part about it, and it obviously mattered before, but much more so in just these best of twos as opposed to the 3 points for it. So if you're able to, throw it out in the first pick and maybe go for, I don't know if you necessarily have to cheese it out in terms of like going for a Drow Strat or IO Tiny or something else like that, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's worth it for iG.V to think about something a little bit out of the box?
Well, they've got a lot of out of the box in their last several drafts. I mean, what they've been drafting throughout.
Let's go in the notepad.
Yeah, the past few matches has been Still with a very clear strategy, but like they have different heroes every time. They do a lot of negative armor, so like Vengeful Spirit and Razor. Their carry seems to change every time, from Slark to Clinks to Gyrocopter, Juggernaut. But one thing that I really like about iG.V's main strat is the Night Stalker. They're usually Night Stalker first or second pick, and they just go super aggressive with it. I mean, sometimes it's in the off lane, and they can accomplish stuff with XXS, building himself up into kind of mid-game Night Stalker, but no matter what, you're actually controlling the tempo of the game. Whereas the Void didn't really feel like you could accomplish that. I think Void is strong, but LGD drafted around it so well that it was hardly a hero in this
Okay,
game.
LGD are also playing like the same shit every game, which
Yeah.
is slightly different heroes. Like they're playing, also a lot of the same heroes, but like
Right.
more importantly, it's like 4 protect 1. Let's just wait for Sylar to become the fully activated bomb that you can't stop. I at least think like they should experiment with like just put a lot of pressure early. Do not let Sylar farm. Shake them out of their game plan. They kind of tried to, but I think they're just a little bit slow with it, and the Death Prophet just was a total disaster mid. So whether it's banning the Earth Spirit, picking a stronger mid, protecting the Death Prophet more, like I think it's emphasized the early game a little more, and even if you don't shut Sylar down, like put him on the clock instead of like, hey,
Sure.
you can have an hour. Good
Yeah,
luck.
definitely. I
I
mean,
hope you farm well.
if you go back to a draft they put up against Fan Chuan, it was Night Stalker, Disruptor, then Razor, Juggernaut, and then Vengeful Spirit. That's high tempo, a lot of early nukes that you can throw out. You can get involved in Sylar's lane within like the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that you're able to control LGD rather than the other way around.
Yeah, and that's where the Night Stalker could be a great pick.
Totally. Absolutely. I agree with everything that you guys said. Left, right, up, down.
Did we ever decide what the reverse of the dumpster is?
Somebody on Twitter said that the reverse of getting dumpstered, if dumpster is down, then going up is the tits, which I don't completely understand at all. But you know what? Apparently that's what it is. So
Seems good.
we'll go with
I
that.
can't present a better alternative, so there you go.
Totally.
It's definitely better than the dumpster, so
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
let's go to the tits and come back for game 2.
Sounds good. I guess we're going to take a short little break and see you guys in a second.